We're going to be talking about Resident Evil 2, but before we get into that, real quick, folks, this video is sponsored by Massdrop, and they did send over the Sennheiser PC37X gaming headset, which I'm actually using right now to record this segment in the video to give you guys a decent idea on how it sounds, especially with the microphone. Some other cool features, folks, you can independently adjust the volume right here with the volume rocker. For the headphones, of course. You can actually flip this microphone up to mute the microphone if you need to mute the microphone. Very handy. Another cool feature that I like a lot is that this is actually detachable, the cord. That way, if something ever went down the road haywire with this cord, you can easily swap in, for a new one and not have to replace the entire unit. I think that's really great. So I've been playing around with this, listening to music, recording some stuff. I really enjoy this gaming headset. I'm not just saying that because we're here talking about it. It really is a solid gaming headset from Sennheiser. So, and really don't just take my word for it. We look at the reviews here on Massdrop. Great reviews all across the board. And not only that, but Tom's Hardware gave it a recommendation as well. So if you want to check it out, I will have a link down below. And if you do check it out, it will help support the show. Shout out to Massdrop. Thanks to Massdrop for sponsoring this video. And, hope you enjoy. One of the biggest problems with Resident Evil 2 is that it's not a remake. And that's not coming from me, that's straight from Capcom. And I think why that's a serious problem is because you have a lot of fans kind of in this thinking that Resident Evil 2 is this remake, when in reality it's an all-new edition of Resident Evil. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that Resident Evil 2 isn't really Resident Evil 2, based off of what I've seen and what we know so far. Again, it's this all-new edition of Resident Evil with Resident Evil 2 elements kind of sprinkled in, and it's supposed to kind of cater to the gaming audience of today. Again, this isn't a real remake. It's not like the remake that we saw, way back in 2002 when Shinji Mikami did his Resident Evil remake. And I know some of you are going to sit there and say, well, Michael, that's not a bad thing. And it's like, well, it might not be a bad thing, but at the same time, it's not really what we were asking for. That's the thing. For many years, gamers, especially hardcore Resident Evil fans, were like, dude, Capcom, you guys got to remake Resident Evil. Here we are at this juncture where the more they show off, the more they talk about Resident Evil 2, it's very clear that, again, this is this all-new edition of Resident Evil 2. And the diehard fans are obviously going to be there day one, but I don't know. I look at this image of the Kendo shop, for example, and it's just like, I think they missed the point entirely. Yeah, sure, the new Kendo shop looks more realistic and grounded, but the old Kendo shop had character to it. And the Kendo shop was one of the most iconic, memorable locations in Resident Evil 2, and for them to take such an iconic, memorable location and just turn it into this very generic-looking building, it's kind of disappointing, and I think it's very telling on where they're headed here with Resident Evil 2 in terms of direction. You know what I mean?